We played around until midday, then decided to go get lunch.
今日は何にしよっか。
Let's see.
今日、ゆうくんのご両親はいるの？
No. They both had extra work or something.
じゃあ、キッチン借りてもいい？
Yeah, I don't mind.
お昼、私が作ってあげる。
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't help but smile. Of course, it would taste great, but I was more excited that she would be cooking for me.
何がいいかな？お店で見ながら考えよっか。
It's so that you can transition into a H scene after you finish cooking. I mean, yeah, good idea. After a trip to the supermarket, we decided on chicken soba rice balls.
甘辛の味付けでポロポロになるまでいるの。きっと美味しいよ。
I can taste it just listening to you. No joke. I started drooling a little. I think I just got super hungry.
帰ったらすぐに作るからね。
You haven't made me food like this since that time in April. I felt like she was humming the same song that time. What melody was it anyway? This is so nice. Just like this. I was watching my lover from behind, making food just for me. It was like a living fantasy. It was cute how she was so willing. Not to mention how delicious the actual food was. The man who wedded this woman would no doubt be a happy one. And that man was going to be me. I thought you said you were already married. I feel like I was sunbathing as I thought that. A warm sensation overcame me. But this is like you're doing all the work, and I'm just being pampered. It wasn't completely a joke, but Yu-chan kind of took it as one. An appetizing smell filled the room. Watching her hum happily, and knowing she felt that way strengthened the warm and pleasant vibe I was enjoying. It would be nice if this moment could last forever. Wait, yeah, I was enjoying... Gurgle... No, I had to eat at some point.
お待ちどうさま。
Whoa, this looks amazing. A perfectly fried egg rested on top of the Saboro bowl. The colors were complementary and vibrant, making it extra appetizing. Let's dig in. Oh yeah, this is good.
たくさん作ったから、よかったらおかわりしてね。余ったら夜にでも食べて。
Cool.
ゆうくん、眠いの？
No, not really. Why?
そうなんだ。振り返った時、頬杖ついて、なんかぼーっとしていたから。
Oh, yeah. I was just watching you and enjoying the atmosphere.
いい塩梅？
I just felt like I was sunbathing or something.
Huh?
She was even more confused at that. Words could not describe my ardent feelings. I mean, this is just like a man's dream.
夢？
Having your cute girlfriend make you dinner, you know.
そういうものなんだ。
Thinking about it that way, I'm way happier than I was in April, when you did basically the same thing.
あの時は、ただの幼馴染だったからってこと？
That's right.
実際、あの時よりもっと美味しくなってると思うよ。
Because you're better at cooking? Or that there's someone to eat it?
愛情が隠し味になって。 なんて。
That may have definitely played some role. On the flip side too, depending on who was eating it, they might feel happy, whereas some might not be moved. In some way, emotions could drastically alter certain sensations. A guy who could marry a girl like you, will be a truly happy man.
みたいなって、なんか曖昧な言い方だけど。
Well, yeah, because your husband's already decided.
誰だろう。
He looked away and murmured with a big smile. I remained serious. It's me.
これからもずーっと面倒見てもらわないとな、ゆうくんには。
Well, the roles are reversed at the moment.
でも私、心の面ではゆうくんに寄りかかってるような気がするな。
I stopped moving my chopsticks at the sudden change in mood. Yu-chan looked off somewhere into the distance and continued speaking to no one in particular.
愛してもらって確かな愛情を感じて、それで私もこれでいいってそう思える。
What are you talking about?
ううん。
She turned back to face me and laughed like she had returned from somewhere. Then she said no more. Weird. I recalled that her dad had said something kind of unexpected. And to think it's... and I think it's been good for her. She's a lot more cheery now. And before that, she had said this about herself. Just no good, huh? Were those good impressions? She was looking down and was silently moving her mouth. I had an epiphany at that moment. This was my first time dwelling on it, on the girl I had been neighbors and friends with since birth. Maybe there's some things I don't know about Yu-chan. It was kind of obvious when I put it that way. People weren't entirely open books. Heck, there's things we don't know about ourselves. But the reason I'm fixating on this at the moment is because it might not be a trivial matter, but something important. 7:13. We got our test scores back during the final week of the semester. My scores were average at best, but I didn't fail anything. Dang, I'm so lucky. And the final day of school came. It already felt like summer vacation during the last hours in homeroom.
では確認ですが、夏休みの補習授業について、うちのクラスからは一人もいませんでした。
We all knew it from the chatter in the room, but the class took a collective sigh of relief when they heard it from Oishi.
先生も嬉しく思います。それから夏休み中の注意事項について伝えますが。
Stand bow. The first semester was officially over, and it felt like someone turned up the brightness in the classroom.
今日で終わりだし、みんなで甘露亭にでも行きましょうか。たまには。そうしよう。めぐみは？行く。よーし、食って食いまくるぞ。ほどほどにしなさいよ。かりんちゃんは3個限定だってお父さんに言われてなかった？にゃでもほら、みんなの分の枠があるし。それ、ありなのかな？ 3個にしておきなさいって。いい加減太るわよ。
Listen, all I'm gonna say is, how long is it gonna take for you to realize she's not gonna get fat from eating too much?
私、別に太ったっていいもんね。
Well, that's not gonna happen.
ま こと。
We met up with Yorihime and Luna, then left the building. It seemed like the princesses could sense without even calling. Right. There was a mix of joy and sadness in the air as we left the classrooms behind us. It was a bittersweet, mostly sweet feeling. Although people who had nothing to do might be bored with the start of summer. I guess I was like that last year. But this year was different. Black and white. I had a job, and above all, a lover. At the very least, I wouldn't have much free time. I looked over and saw Yu-chan chatting with the other girls, a big smile on her face. I was curious about what she was saying last week, but I didn't ask. Something told me it wasn't something she wanted to get into. This may have been the first time I was holding something back from my childhood friend. She wasn't a male friend, and it's not like she couldn't be apart from me. I need to find the right time to ask her. I was sure our talk would be important, so I knew I couldn't keep prolonging it.
いらっしゃい。おお、みんなで。
こんにちは。
Oh fuck. What? I forgot the voice. The whole shop's just got a makeover. She was right about that. And I alone got to walk among these beautiful girls. I still couldn't get used to it.
ねえねえマスター。
ん？
今この場に8人いるけど、私24個頼んだらダメ？
Nah.
他のお客さんの分がなくなってしまうからな。
だいたい計算が変でしょ。私たちが食べる分がないじゃない。
Well, no. The thing is, the other girls aren't restricted yet. Yeah, that was true. Listen, she got 3 times 8. That's more than I expected her to get. If we enjoyed a small wagashi dessert after our meals. After a bit of chatting, we said our goodbyes and split up. I finished paying and was on my way out when Shirahase stopped me. What is it?
俺さ、明日は同窓会で一晩家を空けるんだわ。
Oh?
翌日の午前中には帰ってくるけどさ、出発は夕方頃な。その間、頼むよ、ゆうくん。
Right, yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything with your daughter. It's definitely not like in Master Magistrate, when conveniently, during every route, every other character in the dorm had to leave for some reason. And it was only just Shime and the love interest of said route. Don't worry, that's not going to happen. He put his big seasoned hand on my shoulder and gave me a good squeeze. What? For what?
いや、何ってこともないんだが、ユーナのことをね。
But you're only going to be gone for one night.
まあ、そうなんだけど。
お父さんたら相変わらず過保護なんだから。
It also gives him Listen, it gives Yuta a perfect excuse to talk about what he wanted to talk about with Yuna. Oh, I see.
何が過保護だよ。ユーナみたいなのんびり屋があんまり偉そうなことを言うもんじゃない。
だ。
ということで、あ？
Roger that. 7:14. It was Sunday, and I didn't have a shift at work, so I came as a customer.
いらっしゃいませ。2名様ですね。こちらの席にどうぞ。
Oops. Yu-chan's day off wasn't guaranteed, and she was there when the shop needed her. Or rather, I pushed her to go. Weekends paid well, And if the poster girl wasn't there, the shop would suffer. I mean, it's not my place to be super concerned about shop management, but I was starting to become fonder about the honeydew with each passing day. Aside from the half-joking story about me inheriting it, it was the shop that my lover was working hard at.
ありがとうございました。
She's just so diligent when she's working. Although I didn't think calling her happy-go-lucky like her dad did was off the mark. I'd been convinced it was her primary looks that attracted the customers, but her awesome service was probably the clincher. But she's just so cute. And more so, with that uniform. Don't have sex with her in that uniform, okay?
しかしまあ、ゆうくんもよく飽きないもんだね。
He's so focused on Yuna that her fucking dad is blurred. What? He glanced over at Yu-chan. He meant I don't get tired of looking at her. They say you get tired of a beautiful woman in 3 days, but that's definitely false.
ふん、そうかい？
I nodded with conviction.
同窓会なんか行くと夫婦でお寒い関係になってるやつも多いよ。けど中には新婚当初のまま仲良しでいるやつもいる。ゆうくんあたりはそういう少数派に属することができるかもしれないね。
Yeah, it's almost like he's the protagonist of an eroge. Yeah. I really hope we would be like that. No, I knew we would. So you'll be closing up the shop early tonight?
ああ。いやー、いいもんだよ。学生時代の友人ってのはさ。
It looked like he couldn't wait. I couldn't wrap my head around it, considering I got sick of my friends after seeing them for a few minutes. But maybe I would feel like he did someday. Someday. Shirahase had told me to come by after the shop closed. There were no customers left, and he had begun cleaning up. Cooking.
さてと。
Oh, damn.
じゃあ俺は行くけど。
いってらっしゃい。
So this is what he looks like outside of the apron. Have fun.
戸締まりには気をつけろよ。ガスの元栓は閉める。オレオレ詐欺の電話はすぐに切ること。知らない人にはついていかない。それから。
わかってるよ。
Especially the last part. What do you mean don't follow any strangers? Wait, why would she... What? I feel like the last two didn't have anything to do with you being gone. Yeah, what was the other part? Wait, if anyone calls asking for a credit number, hang up. Oh, okay. I saw credit card. I was like, is he talking about the fucking credit card machine? No, yeah.
いやいや、俺がいない間に俺を装った詐欺みたいな電話とかさ。
If you were only gone for one night, I doubt we'd fall for that.
それもそうか。まあ、ゆうくんがいれば安心か。いや、でもな。
He still looked doubtful.
お父さん、あんまりグズグズしていたら電車に乗り遅れちゃうんじゃない？
おっとと。じゃあ行ってくるぞ。
He dipped back into the house in a rush.
もうほんと心配性なんだから。
Wait, into? Yeah, what? Okay. Totally. I mean, he was up in arms when... he was up in arms even when you applied some makeup. And of course, on the flip side, that was just how much he cared for his daughter. He'd bent over backwards for her. But his party is every year, right? What about last year?
なんか30分くらいあれをしろこれはするなって注意して結局集まりには遅刻しちゃったみたいだよ。飲みすぎなきゃいいんだけどな、お父さん。
But it's only once a year, right? He seemed really excited, so he can spread his wings, I think.
まあ。
She nodded ambiguously.
あ、そうだ。今日はお父さんがいないことだし、店のオーブン占拠してケーキ焼いてあげるね。
Of course. Oh, good idea.
晩ご飯の後、8時頃でいい？お店に来て。
Oops. Got it. I went back to the honeydew after dinner, and Yu-chan met me at the door.
いらっしゃいませ。
What's with those clothes?
なんとなく気分が出るかと思って。
They're gonna fuck in that uniform, isn't she? But she's gonna fuck in that uniform. I was suddenly excited, knowing the poster girl was about to give me a private party.
さあさあ、お客様、こちらにどうぞ。
She pushed me from behind to the table. I noticed the shop was filled with a creamy scent.
あとはイチゴを飾るだけだから、ちょっと待ってて。
Okay. She pranced back over to the kitchen. I could tell by her movements that she was excited to be making cake. It wasn't a surprise, but the store was silent and empty, in stark contrast to this afternoon. The blinds were all down, and the shop's usual spacious vibe was replaced with emptiness.
お待たせしました。
Whoa, nice. It's just like a cake. It's just like a cake you'd expect on your birthday.
すごいでしょ。と言っても、これが一番簡単ってだけなんだけどね。
A sponge cake? She made the same one for me before. Oh, shortcake. The whole shortcake topped with cream and strawberries. I forgot the word for shortcake, so I just said sponge cake. She cut me a piece with a knife and set it on a small plate before handing it to me. Thanks.
全部は食べられないだろうから、残ったのは明日食べよう。一晩くらいなら味もそんなに落ちないと思うから。
Yeah. Yu-chan cut her own piece and sat across from me.
どうぞどうぞ、食べて。
Okay, here we go. Whoa, so good.
今回はスポンジがうまく焼けたかな。
So what is sponge? I was right. I was right. It was fucking sponge cake. Yu-chan looked at me triumphantly and happily with my mouthful of cake. Yeah, this is super good. Wow. I had just eaten dinner, so I wasn't exactly hungry, but I scarfed down the cake.
いちごも美味しいね。酸味が口の中を中和してくれる感じ。
Yeah. I stopped for a second. This feels a little new. I mean, I see those clothes almost every day, yet I never see you sitting in them.
ああ、
Thinking about it, it was weird that we were both here alone in the shop after hours. Every time I see those, I think they just look so good on you.
そう？
Yu-chan tilted her head bashfully. Totally. The outfit suits you. I think you're cute.
でもこれ恥ずかしくて、最近はさすがに慣れてきたような気がするけど。
You were embarrassed?
ちょっと。
But it's not like they're revealing or anything.
そうだけど、でもなんか見られちゃうし、お客さんに。気のせいかもしれないけど。
No, it's not your imagination. I mean, the outfit just attracts attention. And of course, what was most important was the girl wearing the clothes.
あ、でも、この人だけは確実に見ているっていう人が一人だけいた。
I wonder who. Hmm? And who's that chomp?
今、美味しそうにケーキを食べている人。
Oh, you fucking idiot, Yuta.
お仕事の時も、お客さんとして来ている時も、気がつけばゆうくんの眼差しがあって、
I had no recourse. All I could do was scratch my head and blush. Yu-chan put her fork down and leaned onto the table to get closer to me. Her cheeks were blushing too. She looked beautiful.
これは当たり前のことではあるけれど、お客さんにじっと見られるのはちょっと苦手なんだけど。でも、相手がゆうくんなら全然逆なんだよね。むしろ、もっと見てほしい。そんなことまで思っちゃって、視線を感じるだけで、体が熱くなって。
Yu-chan.
だから逆に、仕事の最中は、ちょっと、困ったりもするんだけど。
How so?
だから、それは、ホタテ
You're losing me.
ほてっちゃうから。
She was red from her neck up. And hearing her say that in such a pleading, helpless voice sent shivers up my spine.
ゆうくんってさ。世界面白人間みたいなあれで、目から赤外線出してない？
Oh, that's what you mean. I finally understood why she said that before. With the way you're acting, I'd expected you to be a robot here. I'd expect you to be a robot. Expect you to be the robot here. Once our silly laughter subsided, we leaned over the table to kiss. Sweet. Both our lips still tasted sweet, and we kissed deeper, lapping up the flavor. Just the act of kissing so heavily in a place like this was enticing, setting my body ablaze, so now you're hot as well. And one spot was especially hot, don't say it.
まだ、すだれ、よかった。
Sure, I guess you can say that. They definitely don't look covered. The windows were covered with bamboo blinds, and we didn't have to worry about being seen at all, no matter what we do. No matter what we did. No matter what we do, eh? I couldn't believe where my mind was going. Why wouldn't you? Why couldn't you? But once I was conscious of it, my loins got heavier by the second. Yu-chan. Rattling the chair, I stood up.
待って。これ、しまってきちゃうから。
Okay. She took the plates and disappeared into the kitchen. I thought maybe I would cool down by the time she returned. I guess not. But there was no way. We tightly embraced one another and locked lips even tighter than before. Maybe she was turned on more than usual at the outlandish location. She lapped at my tongue erotically, and my censored was ready to pierce through my pants. Yu-chan was squirming in arousal. We were embracing each other tightly, so I could feel each of her movements.
ゆうくんの、すごい。
I think... Okay, I'm just gonna say it. These moments, right? The moments right before a H scene are the most lewd in Yu-chan's route. At least when it comes to frequency, right? Because there's probably I wouldn't remember all the scenes before the H scene, right? But maybe there's a scene lewder than this before a H scene. But I'm not sure. But with fucking Yuna, it happens every fucking it happens it happens before every H scene, right? So I'm just saying this because, you know, yeah, she could also feel every one of my movements.
これ、ちょっと触ってみてもいい？
Yeah, sure. I got a rush at the unexpected proposal. I couldn't hide my anticipation and stuck out my hips a bit. She took her hand off my back and moved her fingers along my bulging shaft.
すごい。こんな、わかるものなんだ。服の上からでも。
It's certainly the most detailed out of the scenes before the H scenes. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. Oh, the area around my hips buzzed with a paralyzing numbness as her fingers stroked it.
とても大きいし、それに、やっぱり硬いみたい。
Her hot breath was right in my ears, and although the stimulation was minimal, it aroused me immensely. Maybe you can touch it under my clothes.
じゃあ、私が、盛り上がっているせいかな。なかなか降りない。
After a bit of struggle, she managed to get my zipper down. And ever so gently, she freed my confined member. After we were through, I made sure to diligently clean all around the chair, and probably, you know, a little fumigation or whatever the fuck. It was a sacred place of work, and we defiled it. I was mostly a little guilty, honestly a little guilty, but I couldn't deny that I had gotten a rush like I'd never felt before. Phew. I guess that about does it.
もう終わっちゃった？
Yeah, just now.
ごめんね。一人でやらせちゃって。
What are you sorry for? She was an absolute mess, so I let her take a shower instead. But more importantly, is your uniform okay? When your dad returns tomorrow, you'll be open, right?
乾燥機にかけたから。
Oh, well, good. Yu-chan looked around the empty shop, then chuckled with blushed cheeks.
学校で、しちゃった時も思ったけど、バイトの時、
Oops.
また変な気分になっちゃいそう。
A fairly lengthy one, too. Seriously? We both broke out into laughter. 7:15. The next day. Huh? There was a hand-drawn sign on the door. The owner is ill today, and the shop will be closed until tomorrow. He's sick. I hope he's okay. I went back to my room, and as I was doing so, Yu-chan called out to me.
ゆうくん、もうお店の方に回っちゃった？
I nodded, and she apologized for not telling me sooner. That's fine. But is your dad okay? What's wrong?
ああ、本当は全然平気なんだけど。
He's hungover, isn't he? But why is the shop closed? Does he just not want to work?
そういう意味なら平気ではないんだけど。
So, what do you mean? I fucking knew
二
it.
日酔いなんだ。
I called that shit. Oh, I see.
お父さん、あんまり飲めない体質なんだよね。なのに飲みすぎるから。
So he really did spread his wings at his party. So what you're saying is, obviously, right? Yuta's never experienced this before, which means this hasn't happened before. Of him getting drunk at the reunion party and then the next day, the shop being closed, right? Because obviously he would have seen the pattern. But considering that that didn't happen this time, it means that the only reason he wasn't hungover the other times is because he was worried about Yuna. That's my headcanon. Yu-chan's face told me it wasn't quite as simple as that. That's not it.
お父さん、酒量が増えたんだよね。お母さんが他界してから。
I see.
もともとはそんなに飲めないから。だから私が小さい時とか酔ったところを見た覚えはないんだけど。
Thinking back, I remember she was in a weird mood when she told me he went out drinking recently. So this might have been the reason.
私、前に調べたんだけど、飲めない体質の人が無理に飲むのは、飲める人よりずっと危険なんだって。だから、控えてほしいって、そう思ってるんだけど。
Yeah. I closed the window after we said goodbye, and I felt a heavy sensation in the pit of my stomach. I see. So her dad hasn't moved on after the loss of her mum. It wasn't surprising thinking about it, but since I had a few life experiences to draw from, it was hard to actually imagine it. But I think I can understand it now, because I had someone I cherish now. Just imagining the loss of Yu-chan. My heart throbbed painfully just thinking about it. So that's how it is for him. I wonder if Yu-chan is also still in pain over the loss. We hadn't brought it up at all recently, so I was optimistic. Although I knew just because she didn't talk about it didn't mean she wasn't thinking about it. Her mum. It was shallow on my part, but she was never around when I was young, so I never felt like she had left my life for good. If Yu-chan was sad, then I could do my best to shoulder that sadness. But since she wasn't visibly sad anymore, I had put it behind me. I couldn't genuinely sympathize with her, since her absence never resonated with me. What could I do, though? In the end, despite being weaker as a young child, all I could do was repeat what I had done before. Stay by her side. That was all. 7:16. The next day, it was unclear whether it would have any effect on it or not, but I decided to say it. Shirahase, it's not good to drink so much.
Oh, これでも気をつけてはいるんだがね。
He smiled meekly, yet knowing the truth of the matter, it hurt to see that. Closing the shop decreases profits too. I tried to lighten the mood with a joke. I guess it was a joke.
まあね。ただ、うちも基本休みなしだからな。それを考えるとすごいよ。うん。
That's true. I didn't consider that. I'd never dwelled on it before. It wasn't a fast food chain or anything, yet they were open every day. And Shirahase was the one running the show, and he virtually had no time off. Wow. Wow. That is pretty incredible. Open every day.
おいおい、今更だな。
Well, yeah, he isn't here on the weekends. I knew. I mean, I know. Sorry, but without a day off, I feel like you'll wreck your body. Well, yeah, that was one of the fucking events that happened in the common route.
いやー別にもう慣れたからね。
Clearly not used to it enough. He said as much, but the memory of him collapsing after overworking was still fresh. It was a relief that he rethought his workload immediately afterwards.
あと必要な時は休むし、担任の先生との面談とかね。
I decided not to comment on how he ran his shop anymore. I just nodded.
せっかくあいつと始めた店だからね。なるべく休みたくないんだよな。
I intuitively looked over at Yuchan. She hung her head down, her eyes crinkled in pain. Oh boy. A number of days after that, Yuchan was the one who fell ill this time around. Huh? Yuchan, did you catch a cold? Her complexion looked terrible. I could tell she wasn't well at a glance. I looked at her dad, and he just slumped his shoulders.
言ったんだがね。聞かないから。
I can handle the floor alone, right? I don't mind. I said it to both of them. Shirahase nodded, but Yuchan had no response.
二人いれば別に困ることはないからね。
See, Yuchan? Even he says so.
別に体調が悪いわけじゃないから。
What? But... I reached out to see if she had a fever, but she just irritably shook her head. That kind of snappy reaction wasn't like Yuchan at all.
本当に
It might have been the first time I'd seen her like this. My hand hung in the air with nowhere to go, and I just kind of held it there at a loss.
お花に水あげてくるね。
Yuchan disappeared, and her dad sighed heavily. Why does she push herself so hard?
無理というか、あれは。
What?
いや。
I turned around, but he just stood there, shaking his head repeatedly.
俺は想像がつくよ。ただ、俺の口から言うのも良くないだろう。だから、ゆうくんが聞いてやってくれ。
I will. But knowing she was somewhat ill, I couldn't just call her out to talk. I decided that I'd just talk to her after she was a little better. 7:25. It waited a damn while, apparently. After a couple of days, Yuchan was getting better at last. Yuchan, I didn't bother sugarcoating things. You can't keep working without a break. It's bad for the customers too. You can't give proper service in that condition. You didn't hear that. Yuchan, I'm talking to you. It suddenly occurred to me that I should drag her to the doctor if need be. Then it happened. She collapsed to the floor, and I scooped her up in a panic. Shirahase! Shirahase! I screamed out to the kitchen.
なんだい?
Call an ambulance.
いや、それには及ばないよ。
But she's... I looked up with rage at that response. But his face had gone pale, and he was clearly just as worried as I was.
単なる風邪なんだ。救急車なんか呼んだら、かえって迷惑になる。
I mean, this isn't fucking American healthcare where you get charged $5 million to call an ambulance. But sure.
それより、かかりつけのお医者さんを呼ぼう。
Yeah. He moved over toward the phone and then stopped suddenly, and with his back still turned to me.
妻は車の事故で亡くなったからね。できるだけ車には乗せたくないんだよ。
Yeah, but an ambulance is in a car. Never mind. Yu-chan. I called to her in a small voice, but she was out cold, and her eyes stayed shut. Her face was ghostly white, but in contrast, her forehead was burning hot. I'll take her to her room for now.
ああ、頼む。
I carried her upstairs and laid her down on her bed. Her eyes were shut tight, and her breathing was labored and shallow, obviously pained. According to the doctor, it was likely just a bad cold, so he gave her some medicine and went on his way. Once we dealt with her, we opened the shop, albeit a bit later than usual. I just hope the customers don't all flee when they see it's only me today.
いやいや、かえって女性客が増えたりしてな。
No. I don't think so. We exchanged some banter, but my laughter was forced. Shirase was no different. His face was deeply shaded with anguish. Why does she push herself until failure? And no matter how you look at it, it's just crazy.
言っても聞かない以上、店はしばらく閉めることにするよ。治るまでね。まあ、今は寝ているからいいけどさ。
I didn't have anything to say to that, so I just nodded ambiguously. The shop got as busy as it always did, but I felt like I had left my heart and mind behind with her as I worked. 7:26. Yu-chan was better in basically a day. The whole problem was that she just wasn't taking time off. I had her come over to my place at night. Yu-chan, why do you work yourself until you're sick?
お父さんったら大げさなんだよ。
Huh?
ちょっと疲れが溜まっていただけなのに、お医者さんまで呼んで。
I felt like she was changing the subject, and she couldn't maintain eye contact. Your dad, he said he knows why, but that he wanted me to talk to you directly. And there was another thing I was thinking of. I don't know how to put it. I just see a dark cloud over you sometimes.
影、私に？
I don't know. I just thought maybe it might have something to do with your mum. I then recall that the death of her mother and her father's wife left a dark cloud hovering over her family. She died in a car accident, didn't she? Yu-chan nodded. And if I recalled correctly, her mother was alone in the car. That was the extent of my knowledge. I never tried to ask her. Her dad may have known, but I never thought to interrogate him either. Maybe you're ready to tell me about yourself.
変な言い方。だって私たち幼馴染なのに。
I know. But I was thinking, even for such a close childhood friend, there's things I don't know. But we're not just childhood friends anymore. We're lovers. It was a hard thing to say, but I knew I had to. You're my one and only special girl. So, I want you to tell me.
ゆうくんが言ったことは確 確かに当たってると思う。影ということについてだけど、私は自分のことダメだなって、そういう思いがどうしても拭えなくて。
I see. So that's why Yu-chan was always extra reserved and lacked confidence.
そしてそれがお母さんのことがあったからっていうのもその通りで。
A fragmented sentence trailed off, and she sighed heavily.
お母さんが死んだのは私のせいなんだよね。
What? I gasped at the sudden plot twist.
あの時私が体調を崩したから。それでお母さんが車で連れて行ってくれたの。普段あんまり車の運転とかしなかったんだけどね。
Oh. The reason her dad didn't call an ambulance yesterday maybe was because the circumstances were so similar. But that's not your fault. All I could do was state the obvious.
でも私どうしても思っちゃうんだよね。あの時私が体調悪くしなければって。
There wouldn't have been a need to go to the doctor, and she wouldn't have driven. But it's not like that needed to be said.
だから私ダメだなって。
Yu-chan scrunched up her face, and tears welled up in her eyes.
私は肝心なところでうまくいかないようにできている。そんな気がして。
I'll take care of you.
ゆうくん。
I sat down next to her on the bed and put my arms around her shoulder. Yu-chan was desperately fighting back tears and breathing in little squeaks. Was there nothing more I could do? Both in the present and the past, all I could do was be by her side. Either way, it's not like your mom said that to you, right? I mean, obviously.
事故の後結局意識を取り戻さなかったから。
That harsh truth kind of left me speechless. After a while, I finally found some words. Even still, that it could be your fault. She never thought that for a second, obviously. I basically just repeated myself. Of course, Yu-chan didn't assume that her own mother was blaming her for the accident, but that her mum died before they could even exchange parting words. So, she had no closure. I think that was it. Even if it was just one time, it'd be nice if you could see her again.
そうだね。
Yu-chan managed to smile in her sadness. And then I remembered something. I feel like I thought the same thing that time. And just once more, I wished I could see her. As someone who had passed on. The next evening, I went to the honeydew. It was past last order, and the close sign was already up.
すみません、もう閉店。おお、ゆうくんか。
Good evening.
おお、どうしたんだい？
I talked with Yu-chan.
そうか。
I sat down at the counter and he gave me a cup of coffee.
これはサービスだよ。
Thank you.
俺はまだはっきりと聞いたことはない。ただ、想像はついてるんだよ。ユーナはきっと事故のことで罪の意識を感じてるんじゃないかな。
Yeah.
あいつが体調不良を隠すというか、認めようとしないのもこの前に限った話じゃないんだ。いつだって絶対に認めない。動ける限りは普段と変わらない生活を送ろうとする。それでとうとうダウンしたことも何回かあったんだがね。
I had no idea. Perhaps I hadn't focused enough on her as much as I should have.
自分が認めない限り体調が悪いわけではない。そんな心理なのかもしれないが。
So her mom, after the accident, never regained consciousness?
ああ。
I see.
だがね、本当に悪いのは俺なんだよな。
His voice was heavy with sadness, and I looked up at him.
ユーナが体調を崩していよいよぐったりしてしまったという時、俺が医者に連れて行けばよかったものを妻に、普段運転なんかしない妻に、それはなぜだと思う？
I knew it was a rhetorical question, so I just stayed silent.
一人娘と店を天秤にかけ、俺は店の方を取ってしまったんだよ。
He spit out the words like he was disgusted with himself, and clenched his fists on the counter.
というのは、俺が医者に連れて行けば、その日は店を開けなくなるだろう。仕込みがあるから、肝心の商品を用意できなくなる。だから、それが理由で、たった一日、店を開けているために、それだけのために、取り返しのつかないことに。
His shoulders started trembling, and he slammed his fist on the counter again. Maybe he didn't just start drinking excessively due to guilt over losing his wife. His guilt was bound with his business as well.
だから、ユーナが気に病む必要はないんだよ。全然な。そんなことも、俺に触れて言ったんだがね。
No one's at fault here, in reality.
まあ、ね。
Yet a dark cloud still hovered over their family. It wasn't logical, I thought, but the inability to explain it logically is what anguished them. That thought surfaced once more. Just once more. If we could see those who have passed on.